you know what's wrong with HK handguns? It's the price. That's it. Everything else is as close to perfect as a handgun can be. So what if HK engineered a new gun that gave you nearly everything that you would expect from a $1,000 plus HK handgun, but they could do it for around $650? Well, that's exactly what HK did, and they did it by reinvigorating their VP line, for Volk's pistol or People's Pistol. The last time HK used this designation, it was for the VP70, a firearm that completely changed the firearm industry, and this VP9 might do more of the same. It's also the first striker-fired gun that HK has made since their very popular P7. This gun is sick, and if you want to know the best part about it, it's the price. MSRP is $719, and once the initial rush calms down, you should be able to get this in the $650 range, and you get a lot of premium features for a less than premium price. I once said that the FNX9 was the most bang for your buck on a service pistol, but this new HK blows it and just about everything else right out of the water. Let's look at what you get for just a little more than a Glock Gen 4. Starting with the grip that is heavily borrowed from the $1,000 plus P30, this version of HK's Spider-Man grip gives you adjustable back straps and side panels, which truly gives you what has to be the most customizable handgun grip on the market today. So if you have small, medium, or large hands, you can dial the VP9's grip in to get it just the way you want it. No compromises. The grip is also cut slightly higher up here than the P30. This is going to make the gun sit lower in your hand and giving you better bore access, reducing felt recoil and helping the gun stay on target. One really cool new thing is the charging supports. Now HK says that they came up with these, but I'd say that they were at least somewhat borrowed from the FN57. These are a little different from the 5.7 though, because they fit into grooves milled into the slide and held on by the rear sight. They are also larger than the 5.7s and much more positive. These really do make charging the slide easier, and I think will really help arthritic people or women who use revolvers over pistols because it's a little difficult for them to charge a semi-automatic. It also has a firing pin indicator letting you know that the gun is cocked. The sights are very good, but I do wish I had the model with the tritium sights, but these really work out just fine. There's a standard Picatinny rail on the front for accessories, and a large trigger guard to accommodate shooters with gloves on. The VP9 has ambidextrous controls, slide releases on both sides, and HK's magazine release. For people new to HK, this may take a second to get used to, but soon you'll be wishing that all handguns had magazine releases like this. Since we're near the trigger, we have to talk about HK's Light Pull Striker Fired Trigger. This thing will blow your mind. It's smooth, light, breaks crisp, and is basically everything a striker fired trigger isn't supposed to be. In my own opinion, here's how it compares. It blows Glock and Smith & Wesson right out of the water. They both need to go back to the drawing board. It's better than Springfield XD and XDM. It's as smooth as cars, but with less take-up and a better break. Now, a lot of people have been saying it's not as good as the Walther PPQ. I've shot a PPQ, but I don't personally own one, and while the trigger was good, I'd still say that this one is better. Now that's all in my opinion, and opinions will vary, but you can't deny that this trigger is very good, if not the best striker fired trigger on the market today. Internally, this gun is authentic HK2. It has a polygonal rifled barrel which greatly increases barrel life and helps with accuracy. It's similar to the P30's barrel, which has been stress tested with over 90,000 rounds on the same barrel. No one else on the market can make that claim. Even Glock Perfection would start breaking down at over 90,000 rounds. The VP9 also has a flat recoil spring that's new for HK. They say that this will increase service life in case you actually run more than 90,000 rounds through your gun in your life, and it reduces felt recoil. Now I will say that felt recoil is light. It may be the spring or the bore axis, but whatever it is, it's working. This gun shoots flawlessly, as any HK should. The grip, trigger, and sights all work together very well to make this gun right on target nearly all the time. At the range, it was so on that I decided to start shooting it one-handed offhand and still did pretty well with it. If there are any shortcomings, I would have to point out the slide release. It's not as large and as positive as the one on the P30, but it works just fine and is still larger than the standard Glock slide release. Also, personally, I don't like this new stippling on the VP9 as much as the stippling on the P30 and the HK45, but these are both very, very small things. HK doesn't come out with new guns often, but when they do, it's always something you need to pay attention to because they always over-engineer everything and make the guns that everyone else will be trying to copy in the years to come. In my opinion, the VP9 will change the gun market and leave all the other players scrambling to catch up. If you're considering buying a new service pistol, you owe it to yourself to take a look at the VP9, because for the price, nothing else really comes close.